excited.
Good morning.
Good morning, Blue. And we are going to learn so much from this wonderful lady who is a Vermonster and has been able to help put all of this together for the retreats. I'm very, very grateful for that. And we love the Vermont. I've heard that from so many people. Anybody here love Vermont?
Yes.
Blue, I'm going to turn it over to you. And you can or not use the mic, whichever you
No,
prefer.
I won't use it.
Okay.
So I'll let you have that one. Hi. I'm so glad to see you all and meet you all. And I've had learned so much already from conversations I've had. I can't even tell you how expansive that it's been. With that said, our little friends are very active. So I had gone into my mind and written this whole thing up and had all sorts of little trivias and pieces of information I wanted to drop that I learned and things that I felt were important. And then, of course, my computer this morning crashed and burned, and I heard and I'm just going to go with it because that's what they're telling me to do. So with that said, we will see what they have to say. We'll start out with them. And if they let me go, I don't know if any of you know how crowded it is in here. I'm sure Miss Gracie can feel how crowded it is in here. It's moving around from the round history. Blessings we bring to all of you. Here we are together. It's so new. Who knew? Who knew? Yeah. We knew. Blessings, blessings of true hearts. Come on, be a part. We bring to you with our open hearts. You know yours. Heart, you know your mind, in my heart. Now we ask you, please, please step into your divine. We bring to you from Gaia gifts she wants you so to share with her heart open. And please, none despair. What you see is false. You see bad things, it's not true. What's true is your being of light and your heart and the joy that is so bright. This girl that holds a stone, something she never knew before. This stone is actually from where she was grown, in her hometown where she skipped and played and skinned her knees. We climbed trees and prayed. We played with her, we made sand pies. We taught her things to become birdwise. The sky is blue, the grass is green. Her pony ran deep through fields of green. We bring to you through her, we can, some knowledge. That is, if she doesn't stand in the way, I got it. With that is said, we have the black tourmaline. It will scare away any darkness in anywhere. It'll take it, it'll hold it, and it will transmute it from your hearts. Any little black spots, don't even worry about it. It's not even a part. And here we have from the earth our selenite. This, could it be a curse? No, this is a light, solid bright, saying that I hold in my hand is all light. Put it in a room, put it near a stone. It removes any darkness that anything has to be atoned for. So have it near you, carry it in your pocket, put it in your car. It's much larger than any of us are. Some have a piece in their pockets. Some have peace in their hearts. Some carry it right over their heads. Some carry it deep in the earth below their feet instead. And of course, we bring kyanite blue. Kyanite blue makes talking true. It also brings to you a balance of all chakras into the alignment. And with that said, if she holds us, maybe she'll stay and stop being so defiant. Very funny. And with that said, for comfort, we have our hypersense. And this hypersense is just warm. It glows from head to toe. It makes you want to just breathe in and let go. That's what our dear friends have to say for the moment. Now we'll see what they let me say. I have a couple of things somewhere that I hope come. First thing that everyone should know is that I am not a master of crystals. Nobody is. So anything that doesn't resonate for you or to you, it's not yours, which is great because it's just knowledge and knowing what's not yours and what is. You know that boundary's not yours. Maybe yours is beyond. It could be my limitation. It's not yours. Remember that when you see a stone that says, no, don't pick me up, it could be because you don't need it. It's not because there's something wrong with you. Remember, we have the black tourmaline here. It's heavy. If it smashes you in the head, it's even heavier. Watch out. They will drop it on you in a way that you will know, in a caring way. And sometimes their tone is not so caring because they laugh. And sometimes that hurts. But you have to accept it and then continue on with your flight. Fly to the footsteps of the earth. I don't know where that came from. So with that said, healing of crystals is 6,000 years old. That is known. So can you imagine before that? 6,000 years. That's a drop in a bucket, really. But that's recorded in time. There's been healing that we all know of from that time. People in Isis' time, these stones. You see them in Egyptian pyramids. You see them what's come forth through new findings that have come out deep of the earth, of the ancient ones from our friends on various continents. So with that said, I'm going to grab my phone to see if I can, or my book here, see if there's anything here to start with. Okay. The one thing about crystal that I love the most is there is such a gift from the earth. I mean, there are Gaia's biggest gift. How many of you, when you were a kid, picked up a rock? Right? How many of you did that? Or a shell?
Yeah.
Or even a glass bead, beach glass. It all holds energy. They're saying, Abdi. They're talking to the earth when I say things. They keep telling her things too. So she's standing nearby and listening, for those of you who don't know. And with that said, I'm one of those. I collected stones I have stones in my house that I still have from childhood. And I have friends who have bought me stones from all over the world, from a place called Fakwa, all over from the most remote islands on the planet to the riverbeds in Ohio, maybe a shell from Florida. You never know where they come from. Some come from my brook. What's fun about here is that we're known for garnets. I don't know if you know or if you saw any yesterday, but you find garnets down in the lake. They're not, you can find gem quality garnets, but there are industrial grade, I guess you would say. But there's garnets everywhere. So there's certain places on the lake that resonate. And here's a stone that I was gifted. Most stones that I'm gifted go into the grid. And this one is such an important one for me. My dearest childhood friend, our mothers were pregnant together. We grew up in the same sandbox together. We picked stones together when we were kids. She found this beauty down at the lake. Actually, her husband found it. He was from Australia. And he gifted it to me with a true open heart. And with that said, it's quartz. It's got some pyrite in it, maybe some gypsum here. And when you hold it, I feel his love. So it's not even just the love of what this stone represents. It's also the love from the person who's gifted. Now, with that said, I'm going to quickly tell you a couple of things that I've learned. One, my stones are open because I tend to be open. I ask them, sometimes they'll say yes, sometimes they'll say no. These are the ones that said yes, they would come today. Some of the ones say, nah, not so much. With that said, programming stones, you've all heard about that. And that's not really a word I like. I don't like the word programming because it sounds scientific and computer-like. So I tend to use gentler words because the earth I find is gentle. I find Gaia is gentle. So I connect with them and I ask them. And then we find peace. And together within that peace, I'll ask them, would you be willing to do this with me? And I'll have them in my house. The best way for me to get to know a stone from anyone or anywhere is to have it in my house for a while. Maybe I'll put some water, I'll leave it on the table. Sometimes they'll automatically go into the grid. Sometimes they'll go into the grid, they want to come out, they want to go up in the bedroom. Sometimes the fairies move them around, which we don't have to get into here, but they move quite frequently. What's nice is that they brighten up your space, they decorate your space, and they're giving, and they raise your vibration. So with them raising your vibration, what does that do to you? You raise everybody else's vibration. And I started with that with just one or two. I really wanted to get to know them. Sometimes you walk into a room and you'll find something in a corner. In my house, there's little rocks hiding in corners everywhere, all over the place. In rooms, on the floor, in cat beds. There's little ones. This one, not so much. You see it. You can feel it. It's in a windowsill. People are drawn to that windowsill. This guy is actually a light, but I took that apart because it didn't really need to be a light, because it already is a light. So it depends on what plane of reality are you discussing. Where is your energy going? What are you doing with it? Energy is energy forever, Einstein taught us, or we learn in quantum physics, and it's what you do with it. It's up to you. So when someone blasts negative energy at you, what do? You go, I got that black tourmaline at home. It's always with me. It's part of me. And I'm just going to hold on to that. And I'm going to dispel that and change this whole situation around. So how I started with gridding was just something I wanted to do. I just wanted to do that. And I could never find anything that was true or resonated or fit my land, fit my house. It just didn't work. We all have our different paths in the lights. And I went to a Reiki gathering with Libby, with a friend of ours. And I walked in, and there sitting across the sofa was someone who I recognized. She was me. We had questions for each other. I had some answers for her, and she had some answers for me. She did gridding. She said, "This is what I do." And I said, "Oh my God, that's so true." And within that truth, I was able to start. People do all sorts of things. Some people start with their mind. Some people start with their heart. Doesn't matter. You don't even have to have one at all. You can just have one stone, and it can be very small. Big doesn't matter. It's really your intention that does. So what you hold in your heart and how big you expand it, that's as big as a stone can be. So with that said, those of you who start with the mind, nothing wrong with that. And, in time you may find that you'll add something else. You have a gluconite, you'll put all your chakras in a line, and you go, wow, let's do something different. Grids are great because they grow with you. I started off very small with my grid. My intention was close to home, and that was the best for me. And as I expanded, it expanded out. So with that said, we know someone here who, I won't name her name, Jean, who wants to do a grid. She's like had it in her mind's eye, and she had it in her thought. She knows exactly what it is. She's going to do a grid. And the shape is
infinity.
cool. How beautiful is that? Grids can be any shape. Some people use the seeds of change. Some people use the tree of life. Some people use the galaxies. Now, I'm not saying like you draw it out that way. For me, I just put the stones, I used to put them out in a swirl to swirl my energy out from the center, a whirlwind energy to go out and to go forth. And then it unwound and became what it is today. The tree of life is great because you can put the pattern down, and where you feel your stones want to go on that pattern, they can go. And they don't have to be in a pattern. There's no rhyme or reason. They know where they need to be. That's the same thing about stones on your chakra, they say, okay, we need blue, we need green, we need red, we need orange, we need purple. Sometimes those places in us don't need that color. Maybe they need to be brave. So I don't know if any of you know, but sweet little tiger's eye, who everyone knows as a stone of abundance and thinks of prosperity. This little sucker is an amazing protector, which most people don't know. And I picked some up from my friend in India. He's from Arkansas and he's in India now. And these are the prettiest tigers I've ever seen. And they won't let me wrap them. They're not allowed, they do not go independence. They've given some of them away, some have disappeared. They don't need to, but these stones are really such protection stones. So sometimes if I feel a place in the grid where they need to be, they move. Sometimes they're not in the grid, sometimes they are in the grid. Things change. Same with you. You change with the seasons, right? You eat differently in the winter than you do in the summer. In the summer, it's all salads, whatever, and in the winters, it's all soups and root vegetables or whatever. Same thing with your grid. It's going to change. So you can hold on to what's in your head. What did the fairies say? Heart, your mind, and they want you to step into your divine. And this is a way for you to do that. What is just truly amazing for me, it was just amazing, was coming home in bad word, bitchy word, in a foul mood, and walking in my house. A couple of people have been on my property go, you can't walk in your house and be a bad. I walked into my house and it was like so different with the grid. And it was just a constant reminder of my intentions. So you could hold on to it, keep a stone with you and know this stone has your intentions in it. So my intention is to know that I'm always protected. I'm always loved, that I am guided. I am grounded deep. And I soar to the biggest heights. So stones can always do that. And I just love that about having a grid. I love being able to walk in. Everyone is different when they come to the grid. No one's not reacted in some way. People who haven't even seen it, because it's kind of over in a corner, walk by and go, man, this feels really nice down here in your basement. And then it's, well, there's the Reiki grid over here. And Brookie's significant other did a meeting down there. And it was the best meeting he ever did. Because he had this wonderful grid next to him and he was constructive and joyful and learned. And he could take that with him wherever he goes. Brookie has rocks that she takes with her wherever she goes. I make sure of that because I'm a little protective of our sweet little Brook Star. And Jim has bought me rocks. I think you may have one or two.
Oh, you gave me one.
So yeah, they're very important and they remind you of that you're grounded and that you're of the earth and you're a crystal. How much water are you? Well, the earth is 75% water. This is a type of in the quartz family. And how much water are you? And what does that happen? Teaches how that is a conduit of what you put into it. So what you put into your heart, it's the same thing that you want to put into your stone. Even though sometimes it doesn't manifest in your daily routine, you get cranky pants, something untoward happens. You just remember that you are that rock in the brook. You are a rock in my brook. You're a rock at the lake. You're a rock. And all that all that water and turbulence, that just swirls around you because you are centered. You are a rock. You are deep in the ground. You are grounded. You have your inner sun. You are up into the air, into the sky. You are in the universe because you have accepted your divine selves. And you're bringing that here to this now. So that's where we all are on that. So, any of that? Everybody okay so far?
Yeah, it's October.
Pardon me, it's October. Okay. So let's see. So funny you should say that because stones change with the season for me. And in October, usually around the 15th, I start wearing ammonites, which I have the beautiful green one, which is actually a shell. And it's beautiful. It's green and blue. It looks like an opal, and it only comes from one place here on this continent in Canada. And I'm very close to that stone, and I wear opals. Love them, and I have a couple of fire opals. So you may change your stones, like people change their jewelry. So today I have on my wedding ring. I was never into, we've been married for 33, that's right. So we've been married for 33 years. And I'm not really a diamond girl because I didn't like the feel of any of them. Can you imagine me with a diamond? I mean, real, right? Real. So maybe a Herkimer diamond, right? But I walked into a store in my old hometown that was supposed to be a general store, and it turned into a rare earth gallery. And I found this beautiful amethyst. And this was a stone that really talked to me. And it's a royal stone. It's a royal love stone. And it was perfect. So this is my wedding ring. And I carry that with me. And I'm Capricorn, so I'm blue topaz girl. Surprise, surprise. And these are violet sapphires. And my husband is September. He's a sapphire guy. I hope you guys get to meet him, but he's really rather busy.
He brought us wood.
He bought you wood, but did you meet him? You did. I don't think anyone else did.
No, he brought wood for here.
Yeah, but I don't think anyone else got to meet him though. Well, she. Yeah. He's a wonderful guy. Jim's met him.
And Brooke.
Well, yeah, Brooke's family. She doesn't.
Yeah.
So these are the things that I've learned along the way. With that said, I'm going to tell you a little bit about some of the friends I have here today. And these are some of my favorites. And they said that they would come at 5 o'clock in the morning when I couldn't get the computer to work. So I said, okay, you're going to come. So they did say that. And they let me write some things up about them. And these are the stones I have in the grid. So with that said, there's a list out there. You can find a list. If you're a list person and you're wanting a list, you can find a list like beginner list stones. But let me tell you something about that. There's no such thing as beginner stones. So when they say beginner list stones, they're just saying that these stones cover a lot of things. There's nothing beginner about those stones. They will grow with you, like this amethyst. It will grow and expand. All of our friends of the earth, that's what they do. They know so much more than us. And we're so limited and in our short time here and in our view of self and our view of world and my little microcosm here in Vermont. I'm so limited that, I can't possibly imagine how big those stones really are. I mean, healing stones have been around for 6,000 years. So there's, anyway, so this is my little list that I started. And I have this little azurite. I'll pass this little guy around. See him? He also comes in white. He's an azurite. That one happens to be from the Himalayas. And that was a gift. I have pretty amazing friends. I don't know how come, but I'm blessed that way. It's quartz. It was actually first found in North Carolina. We had a lot of stones here that you wouldn't even imagine that we have. It was found about 1970, and a second deposit was uncovered. Just guess. Come on, one guess. Vermont. So the azurite here is deep, and I do have some on my property, and it's white, and you can get white and clear. It's incredibly beautiful. It's strong. It's deep, and I just love it. It's also been discovered around the world and other places. That one's from the Himalayas. It's got a high vibration energy, and it's like that's what's particular to make them azurite, not anything else. Really, it's really the vibration that makes it that. It's azurite is a spiritual name, and it's very important for light workers to have one. All stones are. So when you hear that, take it with a grain of salt, because they're all important, right? All of our friends are important. So when people say that, you just have to read between the lines and know that that is a heart stone for that person. Your heart stone could be something totally different. It can be colorless, like I was saying, oddly shaped, and not at all like the prisms that are in regular quartz. Azurite's not like that. It amplifies at different vibrational levels. It will grow with you. It heralds change. And for people who are telepathic communicators and dimensional engineers, gee whiz, if there know anyone like that. These are great because they have geometric genetic memories. So geometry, sacred geometry, and genetic memories are in those stones. It's the very first earthly material to receive the infusion of nameless light, the universal light source. How's that for cool, right? Also known as, you might say that azurite is one of the key elements of vibrational ascension that the earth and the human species are now beginning to experience. So there's a reason why you're all meeting the stone now, right? Relatively new from the 70s. So I put this in there for my blue friends. No crystal embodies the pure blue ray like azurite. So we have an azurite. And azurite, they're just home for me. We all have our home stone. Maybe yours is a sunstone for the middle of the sacred sun, the internal sun, but I'm a blue, and this is an azurite. So maybe some will feel something, maybe some won't. That's my friend. And this is a third eye stone. And it really helps with your third eye chakra, and it's been guiding souls to enlightenment since the earliest civilization began. So it's one of those 6,000-year-old stones that people come to. It's an Atlantean stone also, early Egyptians, which is where I herald from a lot. It's a psychic stone shrouded in mystery. I'm a blue ray. Of course I'm shrouded in mystery, right? So it's a stone. It only makes sense for us blue people. The Chinese believe it opens celestial gateways. Did you hear that? Grace Isis, celestial gateways? Yeah, okay. Celestial gateways, and was revered by the Greeks and Romans for its visionary insights. Be careful when you hold that stone and you're meditating. Make sure that you have weights on and that you stay on the ground. Transfer of wisdom and via thought, while the Native Americans used this sacred stone to contact their spiritual Indian guides. So that stone really, when I hold that stone and if I'm out in the yard, I can really feel and hear what the Indians the spirits in our yard have to say. Modern practitioners, it mirrors its legacy powers of clearing away tension, confusion, opening the mind to new perspective. So it does a lot of things in that way. It brings you into alignment, and with spiritual guidance, it may be used for enhancement of dreams, entertaining or meditative or channeling state, enables the body to journey safely, by the way. You should have one. They're yelling at you. What have you been doing, Jim? Azurite is a soft stone, named for its deep azure blue color. It's copper, carbonate mineral, which you can feel that those of you sensitive to copper. It's found in nature mixed with malachite, often you can see it. I don't know how much time we have, so I have all this about all these stones. I'm just gonna go. It's a stone for connecting with sacred powers. So then now that the stone is here, any of this, and you had it in your presence for even a short time, you will feel more of the sacredness of this place. And with me, you know how I always talk about solfeggios and so forth, that stone resonates with Gregorian chants, which created the solfeggios. It's highly effective for use as a pendulum, and it assists mediums and light workers, of course, to interpret and helping maintain objectivity, which is so important to be able to let that pass through. And when the door is open and you let it go through, it doesn't mean you have to engage. It's not your job. It's a good, excellent crystal for examination, interviews, presentations, organization. Yeah, right. Very people. And then, of course, I'm moving on quickly to our friend selenite. There's so much to say about selenite that I'm just going to let y'all look it up. Because I find that when you look something up, you find what truly resonates with you. When I wrap a stone for somebody, what happens is I go with my thought, I know what stone would be perfect for Terry. I got the perfect stone, blah, blah, blah. And I'll go downstairs, totally not going to happen. It's a totally different stone. And it's so funny because it happens to me all the time. So quickly, clarity, distance healing, clears blocked energy, elevates the spirit, which we know about, helps you access your intuition. It's effective space cleanser, which we know about too, promotes connection and camaraderie. Don't think we have a problem with that here. Enhances powers of manifestation. This. So I'm going to introduce you next. There's two of them. Alone, one in travel in pairs. This is one of my, when I was in the 6th grade, I heard about this place in Russia and I loved it ever since. I knew I had been there and I knew it. It was just my place. It's this beautiful lake. It's like the deepest lake in the world. It's called Bakai. There's freshwater seals on it, and there's monasteries, and there's people on the other side drinking vodka. It's like everything else. These are seraphonites, and they are angelic in nature. And the first time I said, "You can't. There's a stone that comes from my place." As you guys know, the seraphim is the highest order of angels who attend the throne of God. Their image or that of their feathery wings are captured in its iridescent silver. And you can hear them sing. As we have a few times now, the stone of angel wings is known for its high spiritual ascending throughout the system. And it means the system. It means every breath you take, any step you make, anything you eat, how you breathe, it's your system. It's clearing and activating each chakra along the way. It links the physical with the ethereal, which is really kind of nice that it does that, and it helps keep you grounded within that, which sometimes I have a problem with. That's why I tend to be barefoot. It's open for communication and with the Devic and the angelic realms, of course. And this stone is especially concerned with healing the planet and to bring humanity back into balance. So it's also Kuan Yin stone. And we love our friends. It's particularly tuned with its color. If you hold it to your heart chakra, it will go pitter patter. It's infusing the aura with vibrations of wholeness and well-being, nurturing love, and it's enveloping like a hug. It helps you experience greater awareness of the divine feminine in all that is. It's like a deep color laced with shimmering patterns. It can have some other little different colors, but it's mostly that color. And it changes at the angles, and it changes when you wear it. I have found that when you wear it, a lot of the stones that I have, that they will change and move. And this is one of them for some reason. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Ask my friend. She's seen it. It's so nice to have a witness, you know? Like Bakai region of Siberia, Russia, and derives its name from its associate with the seraphim, highest order of angels, also known as the seraphina, or green twilight. I can go on about this stone forever because I love it. I see all the other things would love to tell you, but we're moving on because I feel that time is of the essence. Moving quickly to fluorite. Now, we all know fluorite, but there's gem quality fluorites. And they're like this color, but they're true gems. And I have green and purple big palm stones in the grid. And this little guy was with jeans over in the windowsill. And I almost brought yours with me, but it looks so happy there. No, she can get it. She has to come back to get it. That is like a cleanser and a stabilizer of the aura. It's really a great stone for Reiki practitioners. That's what the Reiki people say, and don't limit it that way. It's just a great stone. It absorbs and neutralizes negative energy and stress. Something I need. An excellent learning aid. Powers up communication, self-confidence, and helps us in decision making. It encourages positivity, balance the energies. It's really just an all-around good mental stone. It really just helps you mentally let that go, right? It boosts the immune system. Who knows? It helps the regeneration and restructuring of cells and DNA and skin. And basically, I love that stuff. Something that I'm told to insert now. Okay. I guess you guys have all heard about people putting crystals in water bottles. Careful. Not all crystals are made to do that. I'm hearing just quartz. Like, make sure it's like a quartz base. Some will leach out copper. Azurite doesn't like bright sunlight, by the way. Some lead. So you don't want to put them in water and drink that elixir. So make sure you research to see which ones you can do that. I don't know who that remark is for, but Kathy would know. She's a Sparty fan, so. What? Yeah. I can. I'm loud. I'm G. Of course I can. So the next stone is one of my heart stones also. Not that they're not all my heart stones, but I love this stone. And I have a hard time wearing the stone because when I hold on to the stone, or if it's in my forehead or along those lines, my third eye opens, I immediately see the universe. He's like, oh, don't get those to me. I'm getting up and moving.
Well, I went through just that. It's a little chilly in here. But Grace got the wrong message. Oh, can somebody just chat?
I'm like burning up here. So that's a Peter sign. So Peter signs they embody the storm for me. So, okay. The beauty and essence of the storm is captured by Peter sign. I guess I did like that. It has the flashes of golden light, churning clouds of the deepest blue, known as the Tempest Stone. It's highly charged energy and is almost tangible. Now, with a lot of stones that you wear them, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I get home and I just got to rip things off. It's like, oh, I had enough of you. All right. It discharges negative energies. Most of anything I do does. And emotional turmoil, it cleanses and it helps with the aura and restoring to calm. But for me, it's the third eye and it just takes me away. It's activation of the sacral and solar plexus chakras, which a lot of people have problems with, as well as the third eye, creating powerful increase in energy of personal will and intuitive natures. So there you go, friends. It grounds the body and centers not to the earth, but to the etheric realm. I guess that's why I have to be barefoot. So this rare ability increases the focus of one's aim in life. That's your true purpose, not like, the prosperity or whatever of the tiger's eye. That stone also has protection. And one of the things is protection. Will help you with your true purpose. And it allows the spiritual journey and access to the Akashic records. It's a variety of quartz, which I love. It's composed naturally of tiger's eye, hawkeye, jasper, and it's incredible for clairvoyance, and it's brilliance of life within the stone. Golden hues, deep dark black gray. It's was discovered by Sid Peters and in Nambia. And it's very, very, very hard to get. If you get a chance to get one, you're lucky. I tend to give them away, so I should keep one to myself. It's a powerful protection stone, and a lot of things that I find, I think it's just because of what I attract, because I'm a Blu-ray, is I'm all about protection and keeping safe and guardians and so forth. And for those who have tried many times and have failed to beat addiction, it will help with that. It's extremely supportive, but it has to be your choice. Because remember, it will take you into the etheric realm. And if you are not ready for this stone, don't pick it up. Like I said, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to let you know. Some stones just are like, no, it's not for me. Right?
What was the name of that stone?
Petersite. Petersite. I would have a printout for you, but unfortunately, it's in my computer. And actually, this is just stuff I did quick. Another real beautiful stone, and it's actually, I have a big one at home. It's the center of my grid. Are these things? These are celestites. These are little angelic little things. And these two, I find that some stones like to be in pairs. And for some reason, celestite always likes to be in pairs for me. Though the one I have at home is so big and strong, it's like, I'm into myself. But these little two guys, and you can find them kind of in gem quality, I think. I've never seen one, but that's what I'm being told. This is great for most all of us. It relaxes muscles, tensions, and calms mental torment. And how many of us here mentally torment ourselves? Right. So get a celestite, keep it with you. That could be one of your stones. So, the change in the season coming into the holidays, I recommend going to a store dealing in celestite. They have those stores you can go in and you can pick up little rocks, little ones. Go pick up a little bag, and maybe that one doesn't work for you, maybe something else. But for me, a little tiny celestite in my pocket, that's always a great thing. But I tend to do things of weight. That's my job. If you were in a visionary business, Kathy, yes. Like a metaphysical practitioner, visionary, an artist, or another spiritual business, which you really are, as you know, keep close by. It's awful helpful if you are running a conscious business engaged in integrating spirituality.
And what's the name of that?
Celestite, CELESTITE.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Miss Kathleen Caputo. Thank you for your being of light. It's useful for clearing infections and attachments of all kinds.
Can you tell me what this one again?
The Peter site? That's the Peter site. I see. That's wonderful.
energy.
Right, it does. It does. I like that. It helps in conflict resolution, the cell site too, and I really love having that. And if I could, I would put a piece in my house because of my house and the fact that the grid, whatever I have, and you, Jean and Terry, Brooke and Jim have seen it. There's a lot of conflict, not of ours, any of ours, but that surrounds us, that comes into the house. And the cell site is one of the things in the grid that will lift it and take it. It's a very important stone. It's the center stone in my grid on a beautiful piece of true selenite, not just the gypsum selenite we have, but the clear selenite that was gifted to me. And I have no idea how I got that lucky. It has a gentle energy, soothes frazzled nerves, quiets the mind.
Mary has a question. Mary.
Are you still talking about cell study?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I'm sorry. Am I moving too fast? You can,
No, I thought you said selling them.
I just did.
She put that on her, so I'm like.
I have a center stone in my grid,
Oh.
and I put the cell site on top of the selenite,
Okay.
under which is the name of everyone who is in our grid. And so yes, I'm sorry.
And can I just interject? Selenite will help charge and clear your other stones. So that's one of the purposes for putting stones on top of it. Mhm.
The one thing about anything that ends in ite, especially selenite, petersite, labradorite, seraphinite, is that anything that ends in ite, rule of thumb is do not put it in water. A lot of people think, oh, water is good. Water is great. We love water. Water is the best. But for some stones, not so much because they're polished and they put a finish on them. Like labradorite, they put a finish on it, and so it does what it does to protect the stone, and that will dull it. So you don't want to keep, you can double check, but rule of thumb is always good. Thank you, Charlie. So, especially
We got a thumbs up.
especially selenite. Selenite will disappear on you. It will melt. So, yeah. I don't think I have all that much. Oh, celestite brings emotional composure to turbulent times. So it's really right now where we are in our journey here on our planet in this incarnation. It's very turbulent, and we are the ones that are bringing in the light. So it's really important for us to be transmuting this energy, and this stone really helps. It truly does. And it brings me a sense of peace and comfort. And it's also one of the ones that when I help people pass, that's how I started the grid, was because I was like, after the 12th person I helped pass, I really wanted to have that so there could be 24-hour healing if I wasn't there at someone's side. And it connects with the Divine Mother, and Mary's very presence there with Kuan Yin. And, it's just the Divine Mother walks you with her arms when she sleeps. And I discovered after the last person who passed away under my hands that I felt I was being held. That was, and it helps with tears to relieve grief. Now, grief is interesting because you don't have to know when you hold one of these stones, and if grief comes up, you do not have to know how come. It's just something that you're letting go, that's just stuck in a pocket. You don't have to know the reason for it. The same thing with joy or the peace that they bring. It's just something that's bringing forth, right? So just remember, these little guys are to raise your vibration, and part of that is to help you clear, and clearing of yourself, and clearing of the earth, and clearing of those around you. So, yeah, let's see what we have. Purity of heart, it attracts good fortune. So there you go. Celestite also teaches you to trust in a higher power. I forgot about that. Okay, whoops. guides who, I don't know, I think mine are shaking their head at me. Guides, angels, and nature divas. It enhances channeling, karmic growth. There's so much about this. I can't believe I wrote all this. That's all I'm moving. These crystals, they can help sufferers of anxiety, which since I got into this car accident, I suffered greatly. It encourages openness, tranquility, and calmness. It's why I live where I live. Why I never want to leave. No offense. I'm so glad you guys came here. And now moving to the next one.
What's the name of that again, please?
That was Solstate.
Oh, that is.
Yeah, it's a big, so they're all big stones. It's like, it doesn't look like there's that many, but it feels like it.
Is that what, this one? The blue one?
The blue ones, the ones that, the two blues.
Right, yeah.
The big chunkier ones.
That's the cute little ones that I like.
That's the Peter site.
She likes Peter.
She likes Peter. Peter's cute, I have to admit.
So is Paul.
This one, I don't, how much time do I have? Oh, 5 minutes. Yeah. This is a I cannot say this word, hemimphorite. And it's difficult to cut, so they're kind of rare. And I have the blue, and I love this, and I wrapped one or two, and one of them I wrapped is shattered. So I don't know. And I had actually wrapped it for someone in our group, and then I picked another stone for that person. Now that one's traveling somewhere, I don't know where it is. It can be difficult to cut. Its perfect cleavage is resistant to high polish, and low hardness make it hard to facet into standard shapes. So that stone that you're holding is kind of like, yeah, it's really nice to see you. It's a druzy. It is a hardness lower than quartz, and for some reason I'm getting stardust in my head. Saying stardust. I don't know what that is. It should be cleansed using warm water, believe it or not, and mild detergent. I don't trust that, but that's what it's saying. Store in a soft bag or place inside a fabric-lined jewelry box. It's one of those stones that you just want to nurture. Absolutely avoid steam. See now I said I don't think the water's right. Saying to avoid steam. Why would I put it in? I don't know. Or ultrasonic cleaners. Keep away from household chemicals. Most stones don't like it. Keep away from detergents, chemicals, perfumes, hairsprays. Remove hemiphrite. I can't say it. Remove the stuff from jewelry before, like if you have a stone in a setting, you got to remove it from that setting to be able to clean that. Don't wear it with any perfume. They just really don't like it. They'll be very mad at you. Now we already talked about the blue kyanite. And then one of my favorite friends. Where are you? Where'd you go? I only have one of you? This is a ruby kyanite. Kyanite's one of those cool stones, kind of like citrine, doesn't hold any negative energy. And this is a ruby kyanite. And there's sneaky little critters, gotta watch out for them because they're big. It's because with the ruby, it's a powerful stone that brings dreams into reality. Seriously, I dreamed you guys here. Hello? What happened? Right? And it helps you revisit old patterns that are not of your highest good. It helps reveal the ones that you need to put in balance. And it's another protective stone. It protects from all negativity. And together they surround you with peaceful vibrations. So the kyanite and the ruby together are really something that brings your heart's desire to the forefront. The ruby aspect in kyanite acts as a nurturing stone with healing and positive effects on the emotions, which is good because it's one of those stones that when you wear it, if you're having one of those times, or if you're not a person that can step easily into mindfulness of the moment when you go out in public and someone goes, ah, tosses whatever at you. It's one of those stones that it's nice to know that you have and it's on your side. Ruby is a powerful heart stone, as we all know. It activates the heart chakra. It protects against the loss of heart energy, which is something I never knew before. Did you guys know that? I never knew that ruby was like protected your heart from the loss of that, of your energy. And it solves, emotional, when it all stuffed up. If you're stuffed up in your heart, congestion, ruby. Okay. It's push it back into balance that way, and it makes you more emotionally aware of others. Now, with that said, being empaths, okay, empaths, when someone invites you in, you do not have to go. You can recognize what the problem is. We all know what it is, and you can give your compassion from where you are. It's not up to you to step in and fix that. You cannot do that. No matter how much we want, we can empathize with it, and we know how hard the journey is. And what that does, with your heartstone and your kyanite, and you're holding on to that clear sight of heart, it will help you bring forth the words or the energy to give them so that they can go on their way. The ultimate decision is theirs, and that is like the hardest thing in the world. There's nothing harder than having to let someone go and knowing you can't do it. And the extra hard thing is the fact that you have to realize that that is your limitation. We have a limit, and that is why, once you know that limit is you being on your path to help others, heal yourself first. I cannot stress enough that all these stones, heal yourself first. I know we all want to, for instance, I talk to people about Reiki. Why do you want to come with me? I want to help others. That's not the Reiki path. The Reiki path first, heal yourself. Once you have that, the side note is being able to help others. And you offer the Reiki. They have to do the work. Some people get that, some people don't. The same thing goes with being an empath. You know you're an empath. You know that you are on your path. You have to stay on your path. Stay in your lane. You have to be true to yourself before you can be true to anybody else. And that is my truth to tell you. And I don't know why I'm yelling at all you people about it, but they're going, me. I can hear them. Blue kyanite is not brilliant. It opens the throat chakra, I guess you can tell. Encouraging communication and self-expression. It cuts through fears. It's a little prickly on the edges, so be careful with that. Helping to speak one's truth. It's very useful for public speakers. Oh, okay, well, yeah, here we go. Performers. It strengthens the voice, heals the throat, and helps the larynx. Right? Am I lying? Yeah, it's okay. Exostone for meditation. It will not retain negative vibration or energy. You never clean it. Yep, doesn't do it. It's one of those magnificent stones like it's all night. With that said, I put all my stones out into the moonlight and let them dance. You can't put them outside in a window, or even if they can't get direct moonlight where you are, putting them in the window in indirect moonlight, that works. Don't limit yourself to like one thing. Okay, just know that it's all open to interpretations of where you are and how that energy is going to flow to you and work for you in that moment of now. Okay, calming, which is good, brings in tranquility, encourages psychic abilities, and stop yelling. And encouraging perseverance. It helps induce dream recall and can promote healing dreams. There's a few here that I'd love to share with you, but we have one exactly in 1 minute. So this stone I love. This is the stone that I have for Kuan Yin. I love this stone. It only comes from one place in Japan. It's called a chrysanthemum stone. And if you cut it in half, it will be white and black. And that's my cornering stone. That was my gift to her. I was so lucky to get this stone. Stone, I cast it. It's a stone of flower stone. It symbolizes optimism and joy. Named for its near perfect representation of cheerful flowers, which is serendipitously found within the black stone. Don't you love that? Chrysanthemum stone is also known for integrating change and harmony and lending the knowledge of how the two work together. That's something really important. I'd like to really master that. If I could master anything, no such thing, but you know what I mean. It's really, it changes your negative mindset and strengthens character. So you have a negative about something, it will help you change that mindset. You'll say, okay, well, I accept that it is what it is. It's an insulate, I'm in mind. So it just really helps you to accept and not necessarily change to liking that way, but just accepting that there is another way for someone else, because we're all so different. I mean, can you see a more diverse group of people here? Right? And it activates dormant skills, talents, and potential abilities that lie within for those of us that feel we have missed our calling. It's not true. Not true. Everything is working perfectly. Mariana is so in tune with that. It's just amazing when I first heard those words. I really wish she could have come. I would have loved to have met her. As my blue cat has stolen your heart. Sorry. With that said, everything is working perfectly. You're right where you're supposed to be. You know now something different. I'm trying to make sure that my words are gentle and calming and open, and that you make sure that if I have put a limit anywhere in you on any word, or you feel a stop, that is false. It's not true. Fear is a liar. I don't want that, and love is the only power that there is. With that said, I think it's 12:02, and you know I always tend to end at 0 point.
You're amazing. I am you. Absolutely. Thank you so much. We really appreciate all this info.
I am so
And
hot.
if you have time to stick around during lunch, maybe if you all want to
Sure. I
just look at what she has out. Do you have time to do that?
Yeah.
Well, we want you to eat lunch too, but if you want to observe
You can't get rid of me
and
that
ask
easy.
questions,
I
I never want to get rid of you.
I didn't get Charlie's breakfast, so you're making up for it.
So thank you, Blue.
You're
We are going to
welcome.
break
Thank you
for
for
lunch.
It's okay. Hold on to it. I understand these things happen. Some of the stones, I get it. Hold on to your fault. It's okay.
I'll bring these over to you.
Okay. I understand. If they're hard to put down now, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I'll use the
I'm
microphone.
bringing my angels.
Oh, that's.
We'll be back at 1:15 for the next presentation, which is Jim.